Hi there, it's me again. Don't mind my soda. I meant to open it before I started it, but, whatever. Today I want to show you something really cool. This is a 3D printed raven. And he's very, very detailed. And I really, really enjoy him. So this is the before. Or no. Scratch that. This is the after. And this is what it looks like when it comes off the 3D printer. These are called trees. They're actually supports. The light's not the best in here. I apologize. But all of these have to be removed. And it's one of my new favorite things to do. So I have a pair of bent long nail needle nose pliers. I have a tiny pair of clippers. They're little wire clippers. And then I have my picking tool. So I'm trying to find a good spot to start with him. It's actually very relaxing to do this until you break it. So just kind of wiggle it just a little bit. Alright, not that spot, I guess. I'll start up here in the beak. I don't know if you can see that, but snap. And you just kind of work it until it pops off. And I have been working on another one, which I'll probably make a video. I don't want to make these videos too long. Well, shoot. I don't know why that's not coming loose. I'm going to take my little clippers and shot it at you. It did come off though, so there's that. Basically, I'm just kind of work the plastic until you get it to break loose. And it looks like I left a piece up in there. So we're going to try to manipulate that a little bit. Or not, I can't get them with that one. Anyway, how's y'all's Thursday going? Kind of been another long week for me. I ended up with a stomach virus, and at least that's what I think it is. I'm feeling much, much better today. I've had an interesting couple of weeks, I guess. My car broke down. I just had some major front end issues with it. And, I got it fixed. Had to have it towed. Cost a fortune, but it's up and running. So, what I like to say, it's always something, right? I'm sorry you can't see that. And I'm just snapping these little things loose. And then I got a box of what's called poop. They call the excess is called poop. Not real sure why. I was going to use my tripod today, but it looks like I'm missing a screw on it, so that would have probably been much better, but here we are. It's always something, ain't it? And that's all right. I've been positive lately. I'm like, well, things don't necessarily go the way we want them to. I sure didn't want my car to break down. I didn't want to get a stomach virus, but, you know, I can't complain. I have a decent place to live, and my bills are paid, and I have good friends that, you know, take care of me, or helped out when I was sick yesterday. So I appreciate that. Not a whole lot else going on. Oh, you know, I know, like, most of you guys are decent individuals, decent men, but I was going to talk about what happened to me. And this actually happened the night my car broke down. It was a Saturday night, and I had gone to a local bar that I like. I'm not going to name it here, but they had a band playing. Well, actually, I went Friday and Saturday, and they had a band playing each night. And I had gone in there the first night, and I was wearing a t-shirt that had a black cat eating ramen because I thought it was funny. And this guy walks up to me and he says, "Oh, I really love your shirt." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you," you know, and kind of turned my attention back to music because I'm not, just really not interested in things right now. So he comes up to me a little while later and he's like, "Oh, hey, you know, this happened on Friday, mind you. You know, my friend bought for me tonight, so I can buy for you." And I was like, "Okay, I guess." And I kind of brushed him off, and he was like, "Well, what are you drinking?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm drinking a soda. I gotta drive, and I'm gonna be responsible," and kind of hit that point where I don't think alcohol is a great idea right now. So he goes up and he comes back and puts a soda in front of me, and it wasn't open or I wouldn't have drank it. And then he's like, "Oh, do you want to dance?" And I'm like, "Oh, not right now." And then eventually I went out there and I was dancing with some girls that, I know from there. And he came out and, kind of was dancing with me, and I was trying to ignore him. Well, then he hands me a note, right? And I shoved it in my pocket, and I was just like, "Okay, thank you," and went about what I was doing. And then I left. And then I decided the next night that I was going to go back up because they had a different band playing. I walk in the door. The place is absolutely crowded. It is just packed. And, I didn't try to get to the bar for my soda. I just sat down next to some people I know. And I was sitting on the pool table. And like I said, this place was busy. So this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, we'll have to dance." And I'm like, I don't really think I want to right now. And he's like, "Oh, that's okay." So he's standing so close to me that he's got his leg is touching my knees as I'm sitting at the pool table. And I kept moving closer. Well, I kept trying to move away, but that was a very packed place that night. So he was just making me solely uncomfortable. Don't do that to women. If they're not acknowledging you, leave them alone. And I suppose that goes with women to men too. If he's not acknowledging you, just leave him alone. And especially if you don't know them. So then he was just, he was on me. And so I listened to a song or two, and I'm thinking about, okay, how do I make my exit out of here, safely make my exit out of here. And he says to me, "Well, I gotta go do something. I'll be back in a few minutes. You sit right there. And I said, yeah, okay. So then he left, and I asked my friend Rich that was sitting there, I was like, hey, can you walk me out? And he's like, oh yeah, no problem. So he walks me out, and I explained what was going on. And now I'm uncomfortable to go back there, so I don't think that's going to be a thing for me anytime soon. I'm popping stuff off. You can see the tail and the back feathers now fairly clearly. I think this will be a 2-part video. I'm sure you guys don't want to listen to me ramble for hours while I do this, and I have an appointment I have to go to soon, so that's not going to work either, right? Anyway, you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.